Hi, boys and girls.
We're at our garage and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out for this video. A 2020 Toyota 86 Sports Coupe. It used to be sold as the Scion FRS before Scion was killed by Toyota. The brand, that is. It's also sold by Subaru as their BRZ. And since Subaru pretty much designed the vehicle, that's understandable. This is the special Hakone edition. I think I'm pronouncing that right. It gives you some extra goodies, like a rear-mounted air spoiler on the trunk, this metallic green paint. The dirty cat paw prints are optional. Activity from last night in my driveway. It's cat mating season, so I can only guess what they were doing on the roof. And with the special edition, you also get a nice tan leather interior, as well as heated seats, which in the weather today probably isn't going to go over too well. It's 110 degrees outside, it'll be 117 by noon. Heated seats I can do without. A standard Toyota 86 runs around $28,000. This is $30,825, but there are no options. Everything is standard. Under the hood is a 2-liter engine. This is not an inline 4. It's a flat 4. Means 2 cylinders go off to the left and 2 cylinders go off to the right. Allows for a more compact engine to fit in a small, low car. Horsepower is rate 205 with 156 pounds-feet of torque. On paper it looks rather impressive, a rather high winder. Horsepower output comes at 7,000 RPM and torque at 6,400 RPM. So you only have to wind it out to get any power. Unfortunately, it doesn't like doing so. Around 5,000 RPM it sounds like it's going to blow up. It won't. It's reliable enough. If you order the automatic transmission, fuel economy is 24 in the city, 32 on the highway. If you order the 6-speed manual transmission, like I got, it drops to 21 mpg in the city and 28 on the highway. Automatic transmissions are just more efficient today. But we'll be taking this out and get the real world fuel economy so you can know the real facts, not what they're saying on paper. The trunk is small as you would expect, only 6.9 cubic feet. The good news, there is an actual spare tire under there, unusual for a small sports car like this, so I'm not going to complain. As expected, the rear seats are not for humans, just monkeys and cargo. Maybe the family pet. I guess you could fit people back here if they didn't have legs, though. The cabin has a lot of positive features. The one that stands out for me, instead of that horrible electronic parking brakes we get nowadays, which are junk as far as I'm concerned, a good old-fashioned manual parking brake. Yeah, it takes up space, but in operation it's far better than the electronic one. You get a nice gauge cluster with lots of useful information. Unfortunately, there is a bit of glare, but only at certain angles, not that big a deal. The climate control doesn't get much simpler. 3 basic knobs and a few buttons, the way it should be on all vehicles. The glove box size is adequate. There's a track mode button. I'm not sure what that does yet. I do have 3 complaints, and it's complaints I've been voicing since the first year these came in production. Apparently nobody's listening. Number 1, the sun visors fold to the side, but they don't slide back and forth. So on a hot sunny day like this, you have all that heat coming in through the side windows, baking your face like a potato. You know, they could fix this at a stroke of a pen. Wouldn't cost anything, but they won't. And what really gets me is their test facility is in Arizona, one of the hottest places on the planet. You think somebody would notice this when they're driving them out in the desert, but guess not. Number 2, almost every car maker on the planet gives you satellite radio as standard equipment. along with a trial subscription. They get it free from the satellite company, so why not? But only on a Toyota do you get stuck with AM/FM. You have to program the satellite radio in later. Not a good idea for a $30,000 car. And number 3, the clutch pedal placement might look okay on the screen here, but it's not. The pedal's too far to the right, almost near the center of the steering wheel from where I'm looking. It should have been moved over around 3 inches more to the left, but they didn't. And they're not going to change it anytime soon, so you just have to get used to shifting the way it is. This concludes the first half of the video show and tell. Second half, we're going to do some driving. We'll start by taking these headlights out in the dark and see how they perform. Let's see, I'm counting 5 little bulbs on the top, 6 on the bottom, and a big one on the right. That's a lot. Let's see what happens. It's dark enough. Let's take these lights out and see what they do. Here we have the low beams on the building 100 feet away. Extremely bright and wide, but very low to the ground. Okay, in the city driving, but I don't think this is going to work in backcountry roads. High beam, certainly bright enough. By the way, you can change the color of the info screen. Here we have blue. Go to red. Green. Don't like that. What's this? Just got blinded. I think I'll stick to red. It matches the color of everything else in here. Here the brights are on the building 300 feet away. Enough light here, good height, good spread. Go low beam. Of course it doesn't reach out. About 2/3 of the way. And there's one complaint I have right off the bat. There doesn't seem to be any way to turn off this radio. Well, you can right now, but when you start the car up again, radio comes on again. There's a way to shut it off permanently. I'm not finding it in the instruction manual. If somebody out there knows, leave a message down in the comment section and let us know. As we do in all our videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance and impact. Bump number 1. Smooth enough. Bump number 2. Bump number 3. And the big nasty one. Ooh, felt that one. I noticed when I hit bumps, sometimes the radio turns itself on. That's what I was reaching for down there. I guess the only way I'm going to turn the radio off permanently is just put a bullet through it. Unbelievable. I can't get a cop to come out to my business when there's a break-in, but they have 2 police cars and 5 cops just because of bums trying to get money on the corner. A waste of taxpayer money. Just for your information, I've driven about half a dozen of these vehicles, either from Toyota or Scion. And the 30 mile per gallon plus mileage I've been getting is common, not unusual. This engine can wind out to 7,500 RPM, but it's not too happy doing so. Even though this motor might sound a bit strained between 5 and 7,500 RPM, don't worry, it's pretty strong and reliable. It's not going to explode on you. So drive it the way you want. According to the car's computer, we've been averaging 27.4 mpg mixed commuting. We're going to reset this and take a highway trip. Like so. Most cars have an overdrive gear, which keeps the RPM around 1,800 to 2,300 RPM on the freeway, but apparently not here. At 75 miles per hour, I'm pulling 3,400 RPM, which is rather high. It certainly doesn't help fuel economy, so it should be interesting to see what we get at the end of this trip. When you get on the freeway, the wind noise on this vehicle is rather low. That's good news. Bad news is there's so much racket coming up from the wheels and tires, finding its way into the cabin. It's very annoying, and for long trips, it's even going to be more so. But it's a sports car, so one of those things you're willing to put up with. With a cramped interior and lack of trunk space, the owner of this vehicle probably won't be taking any long trips anyway. This is the end of the line. Let's pull over and see what the fuel economy figure is. Should be interesting. 34.2 mpg. Not bad considering we were going slightly uphill. We might get a chance to do a return trip downhill and do better. We'll see. We're going to take this on some backcountry roads and tight corners, see if it really performs the way sports cars should. And here we go. You can see how the headlights disappear in the pavement and dips when you have the low beams on. So on back roads, you need the high beam. Like I've said in my other videos, there's a lot of wildlife out here at night. Skunks, mountain lions, and who knows what. They get kind of aggravated if you hit them with the vehicle. We don't want to do that, so we have to keep the brights on. See if we can scare them off. This thing takes corners like a champ, so I guess we could really call it a true sports car. Nice brakes as well. If you're planning on buying a Toyota 86 or its Subaru cousin, this is the type of driving you should be doing with it. If you're not going to do this type of driving with it, then why are you buying one? I reset the fuel economy meter before we started this 35-mile run, which is coming to an end, so let's pull over and see what the fuel economy was. All that spirited driving and still managed to get 22.6 mpg. Not bad. I reset the fuel economy computer back to 0. We're going to take one more highway trip, return trip slightly downhill. Get that reading, and then we'll wrap up this video. Well, 35.7 mpg. I think, 35.6. I think that gives us an overall average around 34. Can't complain about that. So what's my take on this Toyota 86 after a long test drive? Well, we could nitpick about minor things, but in the end, for the money, it's a great value. That goes for the Subaru version as well. Can't beat it for the money, and the fuel economy is certainly better than advertised. And there's no doubt about the quality. So if you're looking for a small sports car, give it a peek. Here's some links to other performance vehicles we've driven lately. Just click and watch.